Always a beautiful night to be at the old ballpark. Welcome to 20th and Blake and inside Coors Field. Game 2 of the second half of the season for the Colorado Rockies as they continue this series against the Philadelphia Phillies. And so far so good as the Rockies had a very tidy 6-2 win last night over Philadelphia. And good evening, everybody. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies were terrific, and what a debut for one Josh Rutledge, a product of the University of Alabama. I don't think you could have dreamt a better opening act than he performed last night.
Well, I was all excited for him the night before because I got a text from Parker saying he'd been pulled from the game and he's coming to the big leagues. You talk about excited for a young man. And I've watched him in Tulsa. He's done the same thing there that he's doing here, driving the ball to all fields. He plays the game right. He's going to steal some bases. He's got speed, and he's going to play shortstop very adequately for you, and he loves to have the pie in the face after a night like he had last night.
Well, look at this, George. The Rockies now have, if you include Rutledge, 7 rookies on their active roster, 7 out of 25. And they're all performing well. Pacheco's hitting .305. That's sensational. Rosario among the league leaders in home runs for catchers. You look up and down that lineup, a lot of young guys performing well.
Well, you're glad to see it, too. Finally getting to see some of the youth you've been reading about in Baseball America through the newspapers, through the radio shows, that you're getting to see them perform now at the big league level. And it's not just talk in a newspaper. You're getting to see them do it on the field. And I think that's the important thing for me, is to see these young kids finally get the opportunity here at this level and do what they're being paid to do, and that's play baseball and play it the right way.
And by the way, Josh Rutledge is in that lineup once again as shortstop tonight. When we come back, we'll visit about the starting pitchers this evening. Rockies getting ready to take on the Phils a few minutes away from first pitch. This year they'll play 9 games in all this season. They have a bonus series in Philadelphia a little bit later on this summer. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Vance Worley, a right-hander, will go for Philadelphia. Jeremy Guthrie tonight for the Rockies.
Well, Worley, one of those guys, got to the big leagues in a hurry a year ago. He's won a lot of baseball games. Now, the record doesn't show that. But last year in the second half, 8-3. He'll work both sides of the plate, 4-pitch mix. He'll cut the baseball, likes to work the curveball. He has pitched against the Rockies one other time in his career. Worley, when you watch him on the mound, he came out of nowhere last year. Everybody's kind of like, who is this Vance Worley guy? Well, he came out of Long Beach State, where he had pitched very well there. But you can see the fastball command is very good. 230-pounder on the mound. And on the flip side of that, you'll get a look at Jeremy Guthrie tonight as he makes a start here at Coors Field. He has struggled at Coors Field, but not against the Philadelphia Phillies. 10 innings, 3 hits, just 1 earned run. You hope he builds off of that and be able to command what he has done since coming out of the bullpen. 2 decent starts over in Washington the other day. 12 innings, a 3 earned run average in the last couple of ball games, so he's pitched better. Hope it carries over with confidence here in this ballpark.
Well, overall, the Rockies have pitched better in this starting rotation the last couple of weeks.
Well, everybody worried about the 75 pitch count. Those strikes, you don't have to worry about it. Last night, it was a thing of beauty to watch Friedrich throw 82 and command the game for 6 innings. If you throw strikes, you work deeper into the ball games. You allow Jim to get in there. And everybody said, well, get rid of the experiment. Well, when was the last time you dropped an experiment after 2.5, 3 weeks? Let it breathe. Let's see what happens first. Well, it's starting to show now. It's paying off.
Well, the Rockies played with great energy last night. They'll try to have that carry over into tonight's contest. The Rockies and the Phillies come on back to Coors Field with us. Brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward by CenturyLink Fast Speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Jeremy Guthrie on his way to the mound. He got to go home to Utah during the All-Star break. Everybody refreshed and ready to go. There's J-Roll, Jimmy Rollins, who bats leadoff for the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies are 37-51. They have scuffled mightily this year. They've dealt with a lot of injuries, but they're healthier than they've been in quite some time. As we look at our Southwest batting order tonight for the Phillies, Charlie Manuel has in the 2-hole Shane Victorino. Chase Utley back healthy. He'll bat third. Ryan Howard just came back. And then it'll be Carlos Ruiz, who's had an unbelievable year, among the league leaders in hitting at .352. Hunter Pence, Juan Pierre hitting .307. Mike Fontenot and the pitcher Vance Worley. So Jeremy Guthrie, George, as you were talking about, the last two starts very, very solid.
A lot better. 14th start of the season. You see the overall numbers. And again, out of the bullpen, pitched a little bit better. Got the promotion back into this rotation. And I tell you what, it's interesting with this rotation and what they've been able to do. And as you take a look at Guthrie's arsenal on the year, fastball, four-seam 43% of the time. He'll use the cutter very rarely, but most of the time fastball pitcher, change, slider, sinker, a little bit of everything at the kitchen sink when Guthrie is out on the mound. Guthrie wanted 4 here in the ballpark, 944 earned average. The opposition has hit .365 against him. A little different out on the road, 2 and 4, 3.67 earned run average.
Well, as you just saw, Josh Rutledge in there at shortstop. And here's the 1-0. That's on the outside corner for a strike. The emphatic strike call by Paul Emmel.
Interesting. Rutledge's stuff finally showed up last night, but it was after the game.
Didn't do him a lot of good, so he did well in Cargo's spikes and Pacheco's glove. No problem, huh?
Yeah, no problem for him at all. And, you know, it's kind of, he walks in the dirty jeans and a flannel shirt and a cap. He was wearing the AA uni to come to a big league ballpark.
Do you know what's amazing, George? And you played in the big leagues for almost a decade. Here's the 2-1, inside 3-1. How many times we as broadcasters have told a similar story? A guy gets here and his equipment doesn't arrive.
Yeah, that doesn't show up. And what he couldn't figure out was they actually boarded the plane and he saw it supposedly being loaded on the flight in Little Rock, Arkansas, where the team was playing on a 4-day road trip, taking on the Angels affiliate. Somehow his luggage ended up in Houston, Texas. They had a storm roll through, got delayed before they could ship it on to Denver.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Let's take a look at the gloves behind Guthrie as Kadire made that first play. In the outfield, Cargo's in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Tyler Colvin in right. Pacheco and Rutledge left side, Scudero and Kadire, they're a little older on the right side. Willeen Rosario, one of those rookies we were chatting about, he's behind the plate. Ramon Hernandez did the catching last night in his return to good health. Shane Victorino, 8 home runs, 37 driven in. And the 0-1, 0-2. Victorino scuffling of late. 2 for his last 24 at the plate. This ball left up and it's hit well right center field, and it's going to drop. Colvin will fire it back in, and it's a double. Not where he wanted to locate that 0-2 pitch.
No, up in the strike zone. Last night, Victorino swung one at the right side in that same area and swung through the baseball. Not on this high fastball. Even though he's a small guy, he's a very good high ball hitter. Most guys short in stature are very good low ball hitters. He got on top of the baseball and drove it into the gap.
So that'll bring up Chase Utley. Utley's been back for 11 games now. That's the good news. The bad news is the club is 1-10 since he returned.
Yeah, they haven't played well, even with he and Howard both around. And Utley struggled a little bit with the bat. 216, hit a home run in his first ball game. Last night, watching Ryan Howard swing the bat, who's in the on-deck circle, saw a lot of upper body swing. Didn't see a lot of movement with his lower half, you know, stepping into the baseball, doing different things we've seen him do in the past. So you wondered a little hesitant maybe.
Yeah, I talked to him this afternoon, and he said that he felt a little over anxious yesterday. And I think the same deal for Utley as he lines a base hit to left, and that's going to score a run. Victorino comes home. It takes a while to get your timing back.
Well, sure it does. And going down and against when you're playing in Clearwater, it's not quite the same thing, or Reading, as it is coming to the big leagues and going at it here. Well, after the double by Victorino, this is just Chase Utley, MVP Chase Utley of years past. I mean, here's a slicer down and away on a sinking ball running away, and he lifts it into the air and places it down that left field line to score Victorino.
He got 7 rehab games in. And he swung the bat well, 10 for 20 on his rehab. Hit a home run, drove in 10 in fact. He's hit more home runs over his last 7 years than any other player in the game. More RBIs as well. 2-0. So the toughest part of the rehabilitation was just keeping yourself with goals day to day, and initially it was just getting out of that boot. 3-0. He did not start swinging a bat off the tee until February. Tore that Achilles final out last year's postseason for Philadelphia. And a 4-pitch walk to Howard.
Now, this is the type of thing, Jim Tracy, Dan O'Dowd, when you put in a 75-pitch limit, you have to try to concentrate on 15 pitches in and out of an inning. And this is already at 14, 7-7. Before the Rockies implemented this, and as Carlos Ruiz comes to the plate, I mean, Drew mentioned what a great first half he's had. He's had a great one. Starters ERA 6.05, and prior to June it was 6.28. It's 6.05 right now. 6.28. Since then it's been 5.26, so obviously a point improvement. The bullpen at 4.29. Last 11 starts though, they've gone 4-4 with a 2.91, and the opposition's hit just 219 against them. So obviously something's changed and working a little better.
Two on for Ruiz, and he gets a breaking ball for a strike. Carlos, the 3rd highest average in the National League at 352. He was an all-star this year for the first time. Caught 4 innings, went 0 for 1 in the Midsummer Classic.
He swung a bat really well in last night's ball game. Solid contact in his at-bats. Single. He struck out and he grounded out in the ninth to lead off the ninth, but he hit the ball hard. Single and a double, excuse me, particularly the second time up.
Everything up right now for Guthrie, trying to find the release point. It's 2-1. Ruiz, 13 home runs. That's tied for second most among catchers. The guy who's squatting next to him has the most, Willeen Rosario. .413 on base percentage. Said this when we were in Philadelphia. It's hard to believe Ruiz is 31 now.
It's not just his ability to hit the ball either. You think about his record when he's behind the plate with this organization, 348 and 251. Last year they were 70 and 43 when he called games from behind the plate. This year 29 and 38 going into this game. It helps when you have a Cy Young guy in Roy Halladay.
This ball tagged to deep center field. Fowler going back, and it's gone. 3-run home run, Carlos Ruiz, and it's a 4-run first for Philadelphia.
Well, that's not boos you're hearing. That is the Philly fans chanting Rue as they do when he has some kind of an accomplishment on the field. 50th career home run for this catcher. Look at this pitch. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. Knee high, a little bit above the knee high area. Looked like he got a pretty good read coming out of the hand. It's the swing he put on it in left center field, and it's very quickly a 4-0 ball game.
Yeah, he got himself in a fastball count, 3-1. This is not the Guthrie we've seen lately. This is the Guthrie that we saw for most of the first half, where he was giving up a lot of hits, George, and a lot of home runs.
19 home runs, second most in the big leagues now, or I should say in the National League, behind Joe Blanton with Philly, he's given up 20. Minor with Atlanta 19. Now Guthrie with 19. His record mentioned that earned run average above 9 in this park, in the mid threes when he's on the road.
Hunter Pence fouls it off out of play. It remains a ball and 2 strikes. Well, he was good in our nation's capital against Washington. George, 6 innings, gave up a couple runs.
Look at the command, though. You don't see missed spots. You don't see balls elevated in the strike zone. And a lot of times when you're trying to make the perfect pitch, you end up making a bad pitch out of it instead of throwing it. When he airs out a high heater and just tied up the hands of Hunter Pence on a high fastball, and he chased right after it after getting ahead of him down in the zone. That ball was by Pence long before he had a chance to swing the bat.
Juan Pierre will step up. Always a threat to bunt. And he shows bunt there. He has more bunt hits than anybody in the National League. He has 9.
Got a proud papa of a 6-month-old baby boy.
You know what? He was telling me about that today. And he says, is he crawling yet? There's Juan throwing out a base hit to center field. He said he's crawling on his back. You guys probably heard me say this many times, and I know I speak for George in this regard. One of our all-time favorite players in the game.
Well, hard worker. I mean, here's a guy that could always run, turned himself into a really good hitter. The only thing that's lacking about his game has been his arm, but he makes up for that with the speed, the ability to play, and just one of the nicest guys you could ever want to meet in a uniform.
Yeah, terrific kid. And he's got 20 stolen bases, so even though he's been applying the craft for a long time, George, he still runs, and it's testimony to the kind of shape he stays in, but he still flies.
Well, it's a huge part of his game. I mean, once that goes, he's probably going to go home and hang out at the house with that baby, and he's always taking care of his legs, as you see him stretching, always doing the extra work. 20 stolen bases, Drew mentioned, but he's only been caught twice the whole year.
0-1 on the veteran Mike Fontenot at the plate. Juan's not just fast. When you've had the success he has had, he is a great studier of moves. 574 career stolen bases. That's the most among any active player. Sam Perlazo at first. Ichiro's next on that list. Carl Crawford's going to be back Monday for the Boston Red Sox. Johnny Damon and the great Omar Vizquel. There goes Pierre, and it's fouled off.
See how smart he is about the running side. You saw him go. The ball's fouled off. Well, instead of putting brakes on, adjusting his stride, it was like a thoroughbred hitting the finish line. He just kind of coasted through till he slowed down, and then turns around and goes the other way. A lot of guys get hurt by trying to slam the brakes on early.
George, it's a great point. When you talk to track people, when you talk to guys that run, that is harder on the legs, slowing down and having to do it quickly, than when you're running a lot. So you make a great point that he was smart. He just kept running through the bag and gingerly broke it down as opposed to trying to do it abruptly.
Well, good challenge because you got a strong arm behind the plate. 12 of 40, 30% for Rosario. With all that speed at first. That's what I was mentioning earlier. You see the heads down, and here's the ball's fouled off, looks to find it, and then just kind of cruises on out to the outfield, slows things down.
2-2 on Fontenot, a Giant and a longtime Chicago Cub. Pierre goes again, swung on and missed. Tough first inning for Jeremy Guthrie. He gives up 4 runs. The big blow, a Carlos Ruiz 3-run shot.
Might be, too, the fact that I think Guthrie was wearing a different type of shoe than what everybody else is on the field. You got to be in uniform. If it's a black-white shoe, that's fine. It matches the uniform, but you can't. I think Guthrie is wearing, there they are. You can see him bright yellow with blue strings on them, and that's why you may be discussing with him, and he might have to change shoes. It's the only thing I can come up with. But nobody's talking to Guthrie, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Jerry Weinstein's over there. Yeah. Dexter Fowler will lead things off for the Rockies. Dex at 295, went 0 for 4 yesterday, hit the ball hard a couple times. Here's the Southwest batting order for Jim Tracy. Marco Scutaro will bat second. Carlos Gonzalez, 3 knocks yesterday, including a double. Michael Kadire, a double and a triple. Tyler Colvin, Jordan Pacheco, Willeen Rosario, and the guy, should he retire today, George, hitting 1,000 in his career. First pitch from Vance Worley is in there for a strike.
Take a look at the numbers: 4 and 5, 354 to career appearance at Coors Field. The opposition's hit 268 at home, 267 out on the road. I tried to tell you, he'll throw a lot of different pitches. He likes to throw that hard slider, curveball back on the backside of it, but most importantly, he has pretty good command of the 4-seam fastball. It gets men on base. He'll go to the 2-seam, try to get the ball on the ground, turn things. He'll cut it. Much like Guthrie, you'll see an awful lot of variance of speeds a lot. There's the changeup, base hit to right.
So Dexter is aboard. Marco Scutaro coming up. Philadelphia defensively. Juan Pierre in left. Shane Victorino, good center fielder. Hunter Pence is in right. Mike Fondo's at third, more of a second baseman in his career. 7th start at third this year. Rollins and Utley up the middle. Howard is at first. Carlos Ruiz is behind the plate. Tough night at the office last night for Marco Scutaro. He struck out 3 times in the game. That's unheard of for Marco. In fact, it's the first time it's happened since September of 2009 when he was with Toronto. A span of 356 games.
Why not test Fontenot at third base? Drew mentioned normally second base, shortstop type mix. You don't see him at third often. Good idea by Scutaro to try to lay a bunt down and test him.
Worley pitched well in Philadelphia against the Rockies, but he got the loss. Gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. Rockies won the ball game 4-1. He allowed only 4 hits. Typically not a big strikeout guy.
He likes to pitch to contact. He wants the ball in play. He wants it on the ground.
Well, in that start back on June 21st, he had 6 shutout innings and then got touched for a couple runs in the 7th. And Scutaro takes that pitch for a strike. It's 3-1. Rockies won 6-2 last night. A lot of energy too, George.
Well, it was kind of fun to watch. 4 days off. You're excited to come back in here. You know how bad you stunk in the first half. You just kind of want to rectify things. And last night was one step in that direction. I mean, last night Friedrich was outstanding on the mound. The bullpen was good. The young kid at short had a heck of a night. He put a little energy in it. Mr. Rutledge came in that dugout all smiles, happy, and playing hard.
Dex got a big jump, ground ball to short, and Rollins will have to go across the diamond.
Dexter was put in motion to stay out of a double play, and it paid off. There goes Dex. I mean, as soon as the leg came up, kind of a short stride, and then he picked it up a little bit going into second base, slid in safely, so the only choice for Rollins go to first and get the out.
So here's the Rockies All-Star Carlos Gonzalez. Had a couple of at-bats in the All-Star game. Started as the DH, hit leadoff, punch out, and a ground ball to first for Cargo. Also in the home run derby. Who wants tacos? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. She doesn't want to watch right now.
She's playing hide and seek with Carlos.
That's a strike, 1-1. Cargo's been locked in on 58 RBIs for a while. In fact, it's been 10 games.
They got a chance now with a runner out at second.
June 29th, the last time he had a ribby. He got his hits on the road. Just didn't drive anybody in. This ball on the ground to second. 2 outs as Fowler goes to third. I'll bring up Michael Kadai. A reminder, join in on the conversation with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Questions, thoughts, and learn how to win a $500 gas card as well. Rockies finished the first half in D.C. And that's where Michael and his family hung out. They have a lot of family in that Northern Virginia area. His wife's family is from there. There's Michael from Southern Virginia. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Boy, it'd be nice, George, to at least get a marker up to counter that 4-run top of the first inning for Philadelphia.
A lot of air got out of the balloon in a hurry. You'd like to inflate it just a little bit.
Worley pitching with that fastball. It's 1-2.
Both sides of the plate. He'll cut and sink it, but what's not, it's down in the zone. It's in the lower half of the strike zone.
And this is on the ground to third. Fontenot to Ryan Howard. And the Rockies had a hit and a man left at third, Dexter Fowler. 4-0 as we go to the second. /fan guide for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 this year at a World Series game presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. Vance Worley's at the plate. He takes strike 1. Rough first inning for Jeremy Guthrie. A 1-out double to Victorino on an 0-2 pitch. Utley followed with a single. A walk on 4 pitches to Howard, and then Carlos Ruiz on a 3-1 pitch got a fastball, and he hit it about 430 feet. There's Ruiz. 0-2 on Worley. 9-1-2 for Philadelphia here in the second. And that's redirected, and it's going to be a tough chance. No chance for Scudero. And then Worley goes down.
Well, their dugout's going to have fun with that one. First hit of the year for him, too. He hadn't had a hit all year long. And it's a leg hit by a 6'3", 240-pound pitcher.
I can't see somebody. There's John Mayberry having fun with him, but somebody had their hands raised for about 20 seconds when he got there.
It's going to have to be a really, really quick exchange. And I credit Worley for running up the line, except that man in the grass snatched him. Right there, got him. Got it back, got him. Oh boy,
George, that's not an accurate description. He's so fast that the body just got ahead of the legs.
Or the land couldn't keep up with his feet.
Yeah, that one.
Hey, he'll take the hit. Trust me.
Jimmy Rollins at the plate. Sharp ground out to first.
He was 0 for 21 prior to this. That's a big man hitting the turf.
You got to check the ground there. Jimmy hits a high fly ball down the right field line. Colvin's going to give it a look, and that's all he's going to have. Well, the first inning tonight, the first 4 hitters were 2 for 3 and a walk. That's Rollins, Victorino, Utley, and Howard. The reason I mention that is yesterday they were 2 for 14. Jimmy Rollins signed a new contract last winter. Kind of been, when you talk about the face of the Phillies, they've had a number of faces, but Jimmy's been one of the steadiest guys. Chance for 2. They turned it over. Not easy to do with Rollins running out of the left side. 4-6-3. So Rutledge got to see a little bit of the arm strength there.
He does have the arm strength, but his feet have been so good around the bag. Dave Hadjic, who works with the infielders for the Rockies, has worked very well with Rutledge on getting in the right position. There's no one certain way to do it every single time, but get it in a position with your feet where you have the leverage to make the best throw. And I think that's something Josh Rutledge has worked very hard on with Hadjic. Dave, now the roving infield instructor for the Rockies.
You know what the hardest part of yesterday had to be, George, for Rutledge? As Victorino shows bunt, takes strike 1. You can play in somebody else's spikes. You know, if you wear size 11.5, then you put on 11.5, you're good to go. Somebody else's glove is just different, especially for a middle infielder.
Well, the thing about that glove, it was the same exact glove. Dexter will catch this line out. Quick, easy inning for Guthrie. But he had, Pacheco had the same exact model, so that helped out a little bit.
A 9-pitch inning.
bottom two as Tyler Colvin is set to hit the plate. I am here with the Rutledges. Josh Rutledge's parents are here. This is Cheryl and Tony. We always hear about the players saying, "Oh, I called my mom and dad first." Is that the case when Josh got called up?
Well, we were actually in Little Rock and found out that night. We were there.
So you were there because you're from Alabama, so you came over to see him play.
We did. We actually had gone to Tulsa and then moved on to Little Rock because it was closer to home, so we were kind of on vacation doing a road trip and ended up in Denver.
Dad, when did you get to Denver?
It was in the second inning yesterday. We had a delay up in Chicago.
Your luggage got here, though, I assume.
It did.
What did you hear about that story from Josh when he told you what happened?
Well, we didn't know. We knew he was activated, but we didn't know his luggage had not gotten here until after the game, and it was like, oh my gosh, all of his stuff. So
just kind of a whirlwind when you found out, and he's in the starting lineup playing shortstop for the Rockies.
It was pretty amazing. This has been his dream forever. So
when did he start playing ball, Tony?
Probably when he was 3 or 4, but not organized until he was about 7.
Did you play baseball?
I played Little League.
So does he get his skills from Dad?
He gets his running ability from Dad.
Now, I should say, Drew and George, right in front of us here is Brian Bowen, his high school coach from Alabama. And then, of course, he went to Alabama, Roll Tide. Brian, tell us a little bit about Josh.
Just a great kid, great player, but even a better kid. He's got great family. He had an older brother that played at Mississippi State, so a lot of roots. He's got a buddy here that was on a state championship team, and a lot of people back home pulling for him.
First major league hit, knocks in a run. Did you just get here when that happened?
We actually heard it on the radio in the car driving here.
So what did everybody tell you?
I said it was pretty amazing.
Because Josh ticked off a lot of things as Colvin has one glove by Utley. He got a single, he had a double, he had a stolen base, he had a sac fly, RBI. I mean, it was an impressive night.
It was. He was very excited after the game, very excited.
Well, I'm sure you guys are having a whirlwind of a weekend. Do you have plans to stay here for a while?
Actually, we have to go back to work tomorrow morning. So we'll try to get up next home series.
Great to talk to you. It's Tony and Cheryl. It's the Rutledges. There's Brian Bowen, their coach. Guys?
What a special night for the Rutledge family yesterday. And the thing is, George, it really does take you back to Little League because it's still your little boy out there playing.
Sure
he just happens to be playing in the best league there is.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part about it. And you get to share it with a lot of people. As he mentioned, he had a state championship teammate there from Alabama that had come up to watch him play, still a very close friend of his.
There's a base hit for Pacheco.
Again.
Yeah, I mean, he just keeps throwing hit out after hit. Jordan had a couple of knocks yesterday to center field. So that'll bring up Willeen Rosario. And in football crazy Alabama, I asked Josh if he played football. He said, no, he said, I played hoops for a long time, but then just baseball took over. That was my thing.
Well, when you have an older brother that participated like he did at the major college level, it kind of rubs off on you. And, I can imagine the backyard wiffle ball games are probably pretty fun.
Yeah, pretty good hotbed for baseball also, that Georgia, Alabama, Florida corridor. 1-0 on Rosario. Here's a did you know about Willeen. His little brother is 19, is playing for the Rockies in the Dominican Summer League. Also a catcher, originally actually a second baseman. Is it fair to say originally when you're 19?
No. You're still trying to find out where the locker room is and where the fields are.
That turns into a 5-4-3 double play. So we move to the third, the Phillies 4 and the Rockies nothing. The first, Carlos Ruiz, a 3-run home run in that initial frame. Coming up on July 28th, the Rockies' wives do this every year, charity baskets, and they hand them out at the various gates. The 28th will be against the Cincinnati Reds. This year's theme is garage sale. I like it, cleaning out your garage with unique items that'll be signed by the husbands of these lovely ladies and other team members. The auction will close at the end of the 6th inning and will raise money for the Rockies charities. Every year it's a fabulous event. Proceeds will benefit Rockies Charities, supports local nonprofit organizations, drug and alcohol abuse awareness, literacy, and baseball and softball programs in the Rocky Mountain region. And Molly Colvin is here with us.
Hello.
Molly is
How you doing?
Tyler's better half. Quite obviously. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. So I asked you a moment ago, are you from South Carolina? And you said, no, you went to school at Clemson.
I did.
Yeah? Moved
I
across from West Virginia.
Yeah, I wanted to go out of state, so did a little research and chose Clemson. It worked out.
Good school. A lot of
It
fun,
is.
too.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed my visits to Clemson. So tell me first about what you got cooking on the 28th. I just gave the broad details.
Well, we're cleaning out our husband's closets, basically, and bringing in some items that we have. Tyler, I found a used hat from the College World Series that he signed.
Oh, wow.
And we have some batting gloves and just some various items that we're going to throw together, and they're going to autograph everything and put them in a basket and auction them off.
Now, is Tyler aware that you took this keepsake, the hat from the College World Series?
I think he had a couple, so he
Oh, he
won't
did?
miss
Okay.
that.
There wasn't a lot of argument. Yeah, he signed that one, so it was a pretty good idea that he knew what was going on. Well, you need to go into the locker and get all those new shoes and everything else and have him sign all that stuff, too.
Well, we wanted game used. So, we want to use some game used gear.
Well, I think it's a great
Bats.
idea this year. I think that's a neat idea what you guys are doing and having your husband sign different things and auction them off. It's great that you're helping the local area. You enjoying Denver? I know Tyler's sure enjoyed swinging the bat right now. A little different than Chicago, huh?
He is loving Denver. He really, really enjoys it. The city's really welcomed us, and we're having a great time.
George, you know what he did a couple of years ago, because you guys are new to the Rockies organization. They had this theme a couple of years ago. George took one of his old lawnmowers and signed it.
Really?
Yeah, it went for.
How'd that go?
It went for $695.
$695. That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Nice.
And it ran.
6.95.
And it ran well, actually.
Chase Utley is retired. We always ask the wives who come up, when your husband is playing, you see him play every day, but when your husband walks into the batter's box, is it nerve-wracking still for you as many games as you've seen him play?
More so on TV. When I'm here, I don't know if I get distracted by things, but on TV I have to leave the room every time he bats.
Is that right?
Yeah, change the channel for a minute. But here, I'm okay here, just when I'm watching on TV.
Well, you're surrounded by all your buddies.
Yeah.
All the other wives that you're sitting around talking a little bit. Hey, your husband got a hit. Oh, okay, nice hit, Tyler.
Come back in the room.
They'll realize you're nervous and all those
That's
kind of
it.
things. That's right.
Were you a baseball fan at Clemson prior to meeting Tyler?
Sure, yeah. I love baseball. I went to a lot of games. That's kind of how I met him. I actually tutored one of his teammates.
Oh, okay.
So.
Good. 2-0 on Ryan Howard, who has yet to see a strike in this game. Walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Molly Colvin is our guest, and he still hasn't seen a strike. It is 3-0.
So this whole deal's on the 28th when the Reds are in town, so you have a good crowd here. That you're going to have this, and it says located on the main concourse behind center field.
Yes.
So it's
we're
going to be in
start
that
as
upper
soon as the
level up
gates
on top?
open.
Okay.
So, yep, as soon as the gates open, we're going to start the bidding and silent auction. So we'll go to the highest bidder.
Carlos Gonzalez waiting. This will be the second out. Molly, with your friends, what's the coolest item you've heard so far? Has anybody dug something out of the deep recesses of a closet or a garage?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything in particular. Everyone has some really cool things, so I think it'll be a really successful event that will go on for years.
We might have to go up and comb around a little bit in center field.
No, I have enough stuff at home, but this is for a great cause. It just got me thinking, and if my wife is watching, it would take a long time to go through my closet. I think one day I'm going to go on a road trip. She's going to, yeah, well, exactly. She'll just take everything and toss it. This is right at Carlos Gonzalez. Molly, I know you got to go over to the radio side as well before you take that off. Thanks for coming by. Best of luck on the 28th. That's against the Reds.
He's a good player.
Welcome again to town.
Thank you.
That's Molly Colvin. And the Rockies looking for some offense when we come back. Big hit presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. Josh Rutledge last night, first major league at bat, a double and an RBI. He'd go on to have a couple of hits, couple RBIs, and a stolen base as well. 2 for 2, sac fly and a walk. What a debut for Josh Rutledge. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $349. Visit Mako.com today. Rutledge will lead off here in the third inning against Vance Worley. The Rockies have had a base hit in each inning. That's it. They trail 4-0 as they hit here in the bottom of the third.
I can see Ruiz, he got a little smile out of Josh. He said, "Hey kid, it isn't this easy." I'm just telling you.
Said he was nervous naturally in that first at bat. After that, he said, you know, it felt like a baseball game again. Mark still with mom and dad. That's on the outside corner. It's 0-2. He was tearing it up in the Texas League, hitting over 300, a ton of doubles. He's got good pop.
What was impressive to me was the fact it stayed steady. There wasn't a bunch of dips. It wasn't a roller coaster 300. You know, he steadily every night you'd look up 1 for 3, some nights 2 for 3, other nights if he went 0 for 3 you'd never see that reflection in the field the way he ran the bases.
That's one of the exciting things about him. He plays short and second and he runs very well. Here's the 1-2.
This year he's gotten about, this is the first experience he's had at second base, and it's a 25-game experience, and it's been very good for him. Playing at second base. They have Warren Schaefer there also, a veteran middle infielder. It's kind of helped him through that. And again, Dave Hatchick spent a lot of times on footwork, double play, different things with the approach to the game.
1-2 on Josh.
One of the knocks, or not really a knock, but something he was doing defensively, he's always laying back on the ball a little bit, not coming to the baseball. And for about the last 30 days, that was the biggest thing I noticed watching the games there, is how he attacked the ball defensively.
Spent some time yesterday before the ball game being tutored on the mental side of things by Troy Tulowitzki, and now he works the count full, 3-2.
Same thing yesterday when Swimmer came into the ball game, got him to 0-2 in a hurry, fought off, took a few sliders down and away, and worked to walk out of that.
3-2 on Josh Rutledge. Ball 4, and Rutledge remains perfect in his major league career, this being day 2. Let's check in again with Mark.
I got to ask Mom, were you nervous on that pitch?
A little bit.
Tell everybody the story about how you have a tie to Coors Field from 1995 when it opened.
Well, actually, I was out in Boulder on business. We had flown into Denver and driven out there, so my family had come. Joshua was 6. And on our way back to the airport, we came by Coors Field and just kind of did a tour. And so we bought one of the inaugural shirts. My husband still has it. He wears it all the time. It's got the logo for the Mets and then the Rockies. And so it's a neat shirt.
That was the first series, Mets. And you still wear that shirt?
Sometimes, yes, I do.
Yeah, that's a connection from Alabama to Colorado, and you saved it, and now you can wear it all the time.
I don't want to wear it out.
Well, another on base for Josh. So thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We love Denver.
Drew, George.
That's a neat story. So there's ties going back to 95. This bunt is going to go foul also. 2-strike count on Guthrie. Mrs. Rutledge talking about doing business out here. We always, the Fowlers, John and Trudy Fowler, are out visiting quite a bit. John does quite a bit of business in the Boulder area, I believe, as well. It's kind of nice when you can mix business with checking in on your kid playing in the big leagues, right?
Question. Knock on the door early, wins breakfast.
Nice job by Guthrie getting that pitch on the ground. So Rutledge in scoring position for the aforementioned Dexter Fowler.
Try to get a tally of some kind up on the board. 4-0 Phillies. They threw that 4 spot up in the first inning off of Jeremy Guthrie. He's settled in and pitched well since then.
Let's see if the Rockies can scratch out a run here. They've been out hit 5-2. Dexter had a base hit in the bottom of the first. Did he get something in his eye, George? He walked up to the plate. I think he did. Well, while they get Dexter straightened down, we'll remind you to stick around after the game tonight for Rockies All Access. Cargo. Catch up with first-time All-Star Carlos Gonzalez. Get a glimpse of life at the Midsummer Classic. It's Rockies All Access Cargo tonight, right after the ball game. Well, actually, to be truthful, right after the Toyota postgame show. Great experience for Carlos. It will not be his last All-Star game. And it should not have been his first, truth be told.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that.
So Dexter can see again.
It kind of helps you when you go up to the plate trying to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. If you can see it with both eyes, not just one.
Now, you as a pitcher were hoping that a dust storm would approach every time the hitter stepped in. High ball one on Fowler. You look at the first half numbers, George, for Dexter, and though the Rockies had a very poor record, clearly, you could make a pretty significant case that he put up all-star numbers in that first half.
Well, there's no question, but I think what hurts these guys for the all-star team is that the outfielders can play any position. It's not just center field. So they take the top vote getters and put them in those positions, and then a lot of times you get lucky and you have a center fielder. But I think that's what hurt Dexter quite a bit.
This ball is looped to left. It's going to drop. Good read by Rutledge. Juan Pierre will not have a throw, and Dexter drives in the Rockies' first run of the night. It is 4-1. There's that kid again.
37 RBIs now for Dexter Fowler. Got a fastball away from him, but he really brought his hands in and able to fight this ball off to the opposite field. Tell you what, I liked what Rutledge did there. He saw where Rollins was not going to be able to get to the baseball, and he busted it. And with Pierre's arm in left, the best thing to do is keep the double play in order, put the ball back at second.
And that's doing your homework early, George. Know where everybody's positioned. So he got the read right off the bat, and he said, that's going to fall. There's nobody who's close to that. Marco Scudero bounced to short his first time. Did they make him balk? No. Stepped off the back. You could do that.
He held on to the ball, and then what happened by holding the baseball, Lou Brock used to say sometimes the best move is no move. Just hold the ball and freeze the runner. Dexter got a little antsy and took off running, and then when he stepped off, he looked back at second. That allowed Dexter to get back. Otherwise, he's dead meat.
Ball one on Marco. Get to the thick part of the lineup. Second time through for the Rockies against Vance Worley.
First time up, he put Dexter, meaning Jim Tracy, put Dexter in motion to stay out of the double play. It's a 1-0 count now.
Pulled to third, knocked down by Fontenot, and he has to go the long way. So the Rockies with 2 outs have another runner in scoring position. Or Carlos Gonzalez.
Ball's hit hard. Fontenot just does a nice job getting over, centered in the body to his body. When it came back out again, he had the ability to get the Scudero at first base. If he feels that off the backhand, it's going to have a tendency to run over the glove and beyond. You're probably looking at 2 guys on, but because of his awareness to get the body in front of the baseball, when it rolled up and got into the body, it stayed in front of him. He could make the play. He walked over, going to backhand, and flipped over because he got his body centered to it. It was perfect.
Carlos hit a ground ball to second. Utley's out on the outfield grass. 2 outs. Fowler at second base, and that pitch off the plate, ball 1. The adjustments Cargo's had to make about the last month or so. He does not see many fastballs.
Well, you're not going to see anything, I wouldn't think, in the middle of the plate around like that. A mistake made.
That was a mistake, and this one is off the top of the wall. Cargo into second with an RBI double. It's 4-2.
Finally got an RBI. It's been a while, 10 games. Now he picks up this one to pick up his 59th.
June 29th, the last time he had a ribby. And it's on his 21st double of the year.
First time in, it was a cutter in. This ball ran right back to the middle of the plate, and it was belt high. Easy pickings for Carlos Gonzalez. A miss of almost 18 inches cost Worley a run.
Michael Kadire, and Michael, he drove it to left, and Fontenot took away a double. And what would have been the Rockies' 3rd run. So the Rockies get 2. Great play by Fontenot to ensure no other damage. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford Focus. It's 40 miles per gallon of pure fun. Start more than a car. Ford Focus. Go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. With George Frazier and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies spotted the Phillies 4 in the first. Jeremy Guthrie, 2 scoreless innings since. And the Rockies just put 2 up. Here's Hunter Pence, and he lines it toward Gonzalez. Cargo will go back, reach up, and make the grab. 1 out. Cargo's made the last 3 plays defensively. And they'll bring up Juan Pierre. It also takes us to our AT&T trivia question. Carlos Ruiz having a big year, 3rd in batting average in the National League at .352. Can you name the only 3 catchers to win a batting title? Pierre single his first time up. One on Pierre.
Yeah, I thought maybe Ted Simmons had won a batting title. Always sometimes, he'd be in that 3 to 325 in his era of baseball.
Terrific player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Fiery guy. There's Charlie Manuel. It's been a difficult year for Charlie. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. His club 37 and 51. I mean, it makes you look twice. The Phillies, one of the 2 or 3 most dominant teams in baseball the last 5 years.
Well, when you lose Howard for a long time that you did, you lost Utley, you didn't have Roy Halladay. I mean, there's 3 guys that MVPs or Cy Young Award winners, no hitters in playoffs. I mean, there's Roy. Roy just threw 3 innings of rehab start down in Clearwater. He gave up a run unearned. He gave up 3 hits. He struck out 4. Velocity was 87.90.
Philly goes to LA from here. Roy's going to start in that Dodger series.
Said his arm feels fine. So go out and put the ball in play, and maybe you're not going to see that velocity you've been seeing, but you'll see outs.
He knows how to get guys out, doesn't he? So Pierre at first, and it's the last guy you want to walk if you're Jeremy Guthrie. Fontenot struck out to end the first inning. 8 came to bat in that first inning. A 4-run first for Philadelphia. Fontenot's hit plenty of 2-hole in his career. Now the Cubs, when he's with Chicago, they never run.
Small ballpark. Ballpark. They went on the 3-run home run there. He's going to have a difficult time getting it.
But he understands he's got to be patient, give Pierre a chance to run here. Two.
Good hard sinker. Good hard sinker by Guthrie at 94 miles an hour. Really late sink, trying to get him to chase the ball out of the zone. A little bit of a reach for a hitter to go after.
See if Pierre takes off here.
A little difference in the pickoff move there. The footwork was the same, but the velocity on the throw to Cadire a little stronger.
Pierre's first year in the big leagues, 2000 with the Rockies. Pretty close.
A lot of guys, when they dive back to the bag, they dive low to the ground to the bag. That time Pierre left his feet. Looked like he hung in the air a little bit and kind of just flopped down onto the ground. Not your normal get back. Watch when he makes his step back. He's going to jump, but he just hung up and he dove early to the bag. Very close.
And Fontenot wastes this pitch. Juan Pierre, family had a love affair with baseball. He was named after Juan Marichal. Grew up in Mobile, Alabama. He remains a huge Nuggets fan. Came up today, asked me about potential moves for the Nuggets. There goes Pierre. The Rockies pitch out. Throw to second's going to nail it. Great throw. Good call from the dugout. Rosario put it right on top of the bag. And Juan Pierre, who's rarely nabbed, gets nabbed there for the second out of the inning.
On a pitch out, you're going to obviously have great footwork, but important to have accuracy with the throw. Rutledge standing and waiting on the baseball, a little bit on the shortstop side, able to reach back. Pierre trying to put a swim move on his tag. Go ahead and attack this hitter, keep that pitch count down. It's at 62, 63 now, and a curveball fouled into the seats.
This is just the fourth time in 25 attempts, George, that Pierre has been caught stealing.
Jerry Mills standing there making sure he is right on top of it, which he is.
You know, Juan was trying to get that swim technique, but the left arm got caught underneath. That pitch way inside. 3-2.
Rosario now 32% of would-be base stealers. I mean, obviously a pretty good mark.
Well, coaching tip there, George, as you know, on that pitch out, go to the baseball, which he did. He fought it out front. Good inning for Guthrie, as it turns out. 4-2, Philadelphia. Fourth inning. Here's our AT&T trivia question again. Carlos Ruiz, third in the league at 352. Can you name the only three catchers to win a batting title? Doesn't happen frequently. Catchers typically aren't going to get a lot of leg hits. Joe Mauer has won 3 of them. Ernie Lombardi And, of course, the immortal Bubbles Hargrave.
What did he hit in 26, Doug? What Bubbles hit? 353.
I remember when he came up with the Cubs, George. That's when Wrigley Field opened. Bubbles was on that initial team with the Cubbies, 1913 to 15.
Doug, you wrote that out well for him.
He was with the Reds from 21 to 28. He must have served in World War I because he didn't play for 6 years. Where Doug doesn't know what team he played for. And then he finished with the Yankees in 30. Career .310 hitter. Tyler Colvin in a ditch 0-2. Tyler hit a flare that was gloved spike high by Chase Utley in the second inning. One and two.
Way to fight that off. Well, hey, by Greenpack.
He go to first. That's catcher interference. That guy, he got Ruiz's glove. That's why that sounded strange, George. That's catcher's interference. That'll be an error on Ruiz, allowing Colvin a reach.
Just what Drew's talking about right here. Mike Shaw, Subaru Supermo is going to catch it. Caught right off the end of the glove.
That is not an at-bat, by the way.
Inside heater. Let's take a look at the promotion one more time here. Buy a green pack, 2 tickets for $24. $5 will go towards planting trees. Available July 15th and the 17th.
Runner moving, and this is fouled off down the right field line.
Trying to get on top of that. That's a difficult pitch to do that when the hit and run's put on.
Runner going again, and this is in the air, left center field, playable for Victorino. I'll tell you what, he's got to hustle back. He's out. That is an embarrassing play. There's no other way to describe it. Tyler Colvin just jogged back, thinking there's no way Shane Victorino is going to make a play on him. That should not happen.
That can't happen. They're going to look out at it. The ball's going to be caught. Waiting for it to be caught. It is a dead sprint back to about the last 5 feet. Victorino very wisely just looked. He wanted to see, watch his reaction. You want to see somebody get excited? Yeah, he likes it. You better believe it. Plays with a lot of enthusiasm in center field.
That can't happen. That just flat out can't happen. 2 outs instead of a man at first and 1 out. Rosario at the plate. Willeen grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. Colvin, moving with the pitch, got a little too close to second base, making it, basically a 90-foot return to the bag.
Well, watched. But what happened? He caught the ball and he stood and watched the ball to be caught. And once it was caught, then he turned his back and started going.
So base running error.
Victorino's third in the league now with 7 outfield assists. Kubels with Arizona leads it with 8, and Hunter Pence with Philadelphia has 8. Kubel 11.
Jimmy Rollins gets a clean hop. He'll throw out Rosario by a step. 4 innings complete, 4-2 Philadelphia. Back to Coors Field right after this. Cell Energy high efficiency inning. We go to the third. Chase Utley, a ground ball to second, and then a couple of fly balls to left field. Ryan Howard on a 3-0 pitch, and Carlos Ruiz would also hit one in the air to Gonzalez. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Vance Worley will lead things off in the 5th inning for Philadelphia. 9-1-2. Phils have lost 5 straight games. I think the Rockies struggle on Saturdays and Sundays this year. And you know how much they struggled on Sundays last year. Well, they have company this year. Rockies are 5-23 on the weekend this year. Philadelphia is 6-23 on the weekend. Go figure.
Got to figure one of those guys, doesn't Hamels, Lee's, or somebody had to start on a Saturday, Sunday, didn't they?
Well, the problem for Lee is Lee's pitching good ball games. He just don't score. Last night he pitched a competitive game. He lost again. He's 1-6. Worley is retired. I don't know if they've dug too big a hole, George, in a very good division, the National League East. Washington playing very well. The Mets have been the surprise team in the division. You know, Miami has scuffled. Atlanta's right there. But Philadelphia still has, as we talked about earlier, Roy Halladay coming back, Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, and then the middle of their orders returned in Utley and Howard.
I give you the
Can
difference.
they make a run?
It doesn't take long for me to show you the difference. A year ago, Lee and Hamels at this time was 50 and 23, 17 complete games for the whole year. Right now, that's 15 and 15 with 0 complete games out of those 3 guys. I mean, when you're talking 27 games above 500 for a season with 3 starters, and right now they're at 500 with 0 complete games. Blanton's got 2 complete games. Kendrick 1. Kendrick's in the bullpen now.
This is to right. It's going to be a fair ball. Colvin will hold Rollins to a single. And with 1 out, that'll bring up Shane Victorino. Time for tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. Guthrie at 94. Vance Worley at 91. Matt Reynolds. Outside on Victorino, a double in the first inning. He lined out to center field his last time up. Bo McLaughlin's going to go out after that first pitch.
72 pitches right now, and there's 1 out. I know the 75 pitch. Jim Tracy will go a little bit above that. Obviously, Bo's going out to have a conversation with Guthrie, but also buy a little bit of time here to make sure you can get the left-handed throwing Matt Reynolds as loose as quickly as you can and buy him time for Utley and Howard. Follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com at Bat12 app, featuring pitch tracking and a whole lot more. Go to ColoradoRockies.com to check on at Bat12, a feature you can put on the iPhone and keep up with everything that's going on with the Rockies. Tyler Chatwood made a start in Double-A today. Right now it's 4 innings, 3 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. 8 ground ball outs, 51 pitches, 34 strikes. So off to a pretty good start there. Pitching against his old affiliation, the Angels.
Center field, and it's going to hold up for Dexter. Another line out to center by Victorino. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Chase Utley. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Battled knee problems the last couple of years.
Last night we talked about his production. I mean, he's averaging about 135 games a year till the last 3, and then it's really backed off because of those knees.
And a base hit to center field. He can still do that.
Yeah, the hands are in still in pretty good shape. Dexter bobbled the baseball. That's going to allow Rollins to move all the way to third.
He was stopping at second. That will be an error.
Now for Dexter, his 4th error of the season. Hard hit line drive. Just Dexter looked up to see where the runners were advancing if Rollins was thinking about running. And when he did, it hit off of him. Lucky it didn't go between the legs and about 15 feet behind him, or they would have had another run. Yeah, Jim Tracy's going to take the ball away from Mr. Guthrie after 4 2/3 innings, trailing 4-2 with runners first and third. And he'll go to the bullpen, Matt Reynolds, to face the left-hander, Ryan Howard.
$5 going towards the Green Fund, which plants trees in the Denver metropolitan area. Join us for the next Green game tomorrow against the Phillies. Visit ColoradoRockies.com/green for more information. There are 2 outs in the 5th inning. Jimmy Rollins singled, moved to initially second on the hit by Utley, continued on to third when it was bobbled in center field by Dexter Fowler. So Matt Reynolds will be asked to get big Ryan Howard here in a 4-2 ball game.
2 appearances so far against these 2 guys, and Reynolds has won both of those battles. So let's see if he can win the 3rd one here and keep it where it is. I think back to the 09 season when the Rockies had just this type of guy. It was Matt Daly that could maintain a game when things got out of hand in those middle innings and allow that offense to get them back into the game.
Howard a walk and a fly ball to left field. Career .290 hitter after the All-Star break.
And big game hitter. That's why he hits 4th in the lineup. A ton of RBIs.
And when he's right, George, he hits lefties as well as righties. Slider for a strike, 1 and 2.
Well, last night, same situation. The big sweeper got him from Friedrich, took it out of the strike zone away from him. No concern with the runners here. Shouldn't be with 2 outs and a 1-2 count.
Runner takes off, and that's a foul ball. So Utley will come back. Ryan last year in 152 games hit .253, 33 home runs, drove in 116. He has 3 years of more than 140 RBIs. Utley going again, and it's top to the mound. Nice job, Matt Reynolds. 2 stranded by Reynolds. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 4-2 Philadelphia.
Place to be on a Saturday night. Rockies trailing the Phillies 4-2 here, going bottom 5. Last night, starter Christian Friedrich, a great outing against the Phillies and against a guy that he knows, Cliff Lee. You heard about him going to visit Cliff Lee in the offseason. He spent about a week and a half in Little Rock at his agent's office, slept on a pull-out couch, played video games at night, and studied Cliff Lee. I asked him if he spoke to Cliff Lee today after beating him last night. He said, no, I talked to him in Philly. But he said he was in the dugout, guys, and obsessed with watching Cliff Lee and every pitch that he made last night. And after every one of his starts, he goes to his app online and condensed watches all of Cliff Lee's outings, continuing to learn from the former Cy Young winner of the Phillies. Drew, George?
Yeah, pretty good guy to sit back and watch, too.
One 1-0 on Josh Rutledge. Got that rally going in the third. A leadoff walk after being behind 0-2. Sacrificed to second by Guthrie. Fowler delivered him with a hit. And then Cargo delivered Fowler with a double. This is roped, but right at Jimmy Rollins. And Rutledge will not hit 1,000 for his career. Johnny Herrera is going to be the pinch hitter for Matt Reynolds.
Ottavino, the right-hander, has been warming up down in the Rockies bullpen, so Jim got the matchup he wanted, the left-hander. Reynolds to get the left-hander out. Now you'll turn it over. The right-handed Luis coming up under pinch right-handed, then you go left Juan Pierre. So it'll be up to Ottavino to maintain this game at 4-2. Hopefully it changes a little bit shortly. Well, Rutledge's new average has dropped at 667 now.
It's a precipitous drop, George.
Pretty nice to look up and see that, huh?
Johnny had been starting at shortstop pretty much every day. In the absence of Tulowitzki. Scudero starting there initially. Once Johnny got healthy, he was the starting shortstop. Here's the 2-0 on Herrera. And it's 3-0. Join in on the conversation with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Share your insights or questions on the game. Plus learn how to win a $500 gas card. 3-1. And Johnny bounces this one through the left side. A base hit.
Ball elevated, really got on top, and that's hard to do for a left-handed bat, to get up on an elevated ball and hit down on it and hit it with some authority. Normally they'll just kind of soft off the end of the bat type deal, and this ball just got by everybody on the left side. Yeah, try to do something with that. 1-out single.
Dexter's 2 for 2, lays down a bunt, and that's a foul ball. Good positioning by Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire. It's not as easy a call as you think, George, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, see, when I watch, he's going to try to get out in it. He's right on the foul line, though. Great alignment by the home plate umpire, Paul Emmel.
And Ruiz tried to sell it by having his body in fair territory, but that ball was without question foul. Pretty night at the ballpark. Good crowd on hand. The Rockies and Phillies 4-2 Philadelphia. Bottom of 5 outside. 1-1 on Dexter. 2 singles tonight. Average back to 301. Got a leadoff hitter hitting above 300 with power. Good stuff. And a real good eye. Dexter does strike out, but he walks a lot also. Got a slugging percentage well over 500 as well. That's on the corner. 2-2. Herrera at first has average speed. Victorino shallow in center. Typically for Fowler, his extra bases are on the pull side. Rockies 2 runs on 5 hits. Worley a contact pitcher and true to form tonight. He hasn't struck anybody out.
A lot of ground balls. That's what he typically likes to do, is get the ball on the ground.
This is looped to Utley at second. I thought off the bat it had a chance to fall. Two outs. That'll bring up Marco Scutaro. Two ground balls to the left side, one to short, one to third. Marco has reached in 34 of his last 38 games. And make it 35 of 39. Scutaro into second with a double. And the go-ahead up in Carlos Gonzalez.
Elevated fastball, trying to get the sinker under the hands of Scutaro. Nice job. Look at that front side open wide to allow him to get to the barrelhead up on top of that fastball and jerk it down the left field line. I'd like to compliment, too, Pierre's hustle will get over to the baseball. You're thinking you might be able to score if it gets by him, because of his inability to be able to throw the ball in the outfield. He hustled it back in. This does not. Oh, almost threw it to the screen.
Kind of figured, George, they may do this. Go right on right with Kadire and not let the best hitter in the Rockies lineup beat him. That's nearly a wild pitch.
Well, normally you would not put the go-ahead run on at first base in a ball game, but it's just not your normal hitter standing at the plate. Although Kadire in his last at bat rocketed a ball right at third base. I mean, he smoked it.
Carlos will go to first. The base is loaded with 2 outs for Michael Kadire. He's 0 for 2. The ground ball to third. And as George mentioned, the rocket that nearly took Mike Fontenot's glove off last time up.
Kadire 3 for 9 with the bases loaded, but we know what he's done on a couple of those occasions. He's left the yard with grand slams.
Pretty significant mid-game moment here on a Saturday night. Rockies trailing by 2 runs. Bases loaded. Kadire at the dish. Odd ball 1. Here's the ball he hit to Fontenot.
He got off the ground to make the play too. That's just an inch away from being a double down the left field line.
Kadire second on the club with 51 RBIs, on pace to be right around that century mark. Seven career slams.
Inner half, then they elevated, then they went down and away.
Great speed with your trail runner, Carlos Gonzalez. Scudero at second, Herrera is at third. Here's the 1-2. Guts of a burglar to take that pitch. 2-2. That did not miss by much.
No, it's just off of the plate on the outside by about an inch or two, but you're right. How do you take that, not take an attempted hack at it and foul it off at least?
And now it's run full 3-2. So Vance Worley, George, you could look in his eyes and you could tell, though he didn't say anything, he's miffed at that pitch on 1 and 2.
Difference between him and a Roy Halladay, you move forward and get the out. You know, that's what separates the good ones.
Here we go, 3-2. Swung on and missed. Worley strikes out Kadire with the bases loaded. So it remains 4-2 as we move to the 6th inning. Look back. First inning, 1 run across already. Carlos Ruiz on a 3-1 pitch drives out of the ballpark to center field. And just like that, it was a 4-0 lead for Philadelphia against Jeremy Guthrie. Guthrie would settle in. The Rockies would counter in the 3rd inning. RBI base hit Dexter Fowler. As John Rutledge comes around, he had walked, and then Cargo nearly hit one out. Top third of the wall, and Fowler would come around on that RBI double for Cargo. You're up to date. That's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. 4-2 ball game. Philadelphia will hit in the 6th inning against Adam Ottavino. Reynolds got the final out of the 5th inning. So Ottavino, the 3rd pitcher utilized tonight by Jim Tracy. At the plate is Carlos Ruiz, and he takes ball 1.
Well, he allowed himself to work through that game with using Reynolds. 27th appearances on the season for Mr. Ottavino. 2-0 record. Holes, he has 3. Scuffled a little bit against his former club, the St. Louis Cardinals. So overall, done a very nice job for this ball club.
-2-0 on Ruiz. Slider. Tulo doing some running work today. This is fouled off. Out on the field. Rehabbing is no fun. Strike 3. Ruiz gone.
When you have that reputation of a very, very good slider, it allows you, if you can put that fastball to the outer half, it's going to buy you some strikeouts because it's going to freeze hitters. They're going to take that pitch or attempt to do what Ruiz did, hold the bat back and not be successful doing it.
Hunter Pence takes a fastball away. Pence a strikeout and a line drive to left.
He didn't like that slider. I mean, he started his motion forward because he has an upper body move to swing the bat. As he started forward, he thought the ball was going to catch him, so he stood up straight and it was called strike. I like Rosario going away with a fastball here, outer half of the plate, and get it there.
How about Ryan Dempster in what has been a dismal year for the Cubs? 33 straight scoreless innings.
Yeah, Bob's obviously been talked about throughout baseball as a trade out, get some of those prospects away from somebody else, start to rebuild their farm system with Chicago.
Here's the dastardly slider.
You better believe it. Bottom fell right out of it after he showed him the one slider to the inside half. I mean, this had totally fooled Hunter Pence. Everything flew out. There wasn't a thing in the body that wanted anything to do with that slider.
Juan Pierre single and a walk. This is chopped up the middle, and it's going to be another base hit for Pierre. Mike Fontenot come up. 0 for 2, couple punch outs.
You're going to pitch away, play away, and that's what Rutledge was doing. Even if he caught that ball going up the middle, you don't have a shot at Pierre. It's a base hit.
Ball 1 on Fontenot. A career .297 hitter against the Rockies.
That one person wanted to know who you'd like to work with in the booth, if past and present, you'd like to call a game with. Ernie Harwell, Detroit, one of my all-time favorites.
I thought you were going to say Harry, George.
No, not one of my all-time favorites. Fontenot's hit .667 against Ottavino. I guess all those all those games with Cardinals versus Cubs, he got a few looks at it. Vince Scully would be a guy I'd like to sit down. You know what? Here's the thing about it, folks. When you ask who you'd like to work with, what I enjoy, my big thrill is to find older scouts, to find announcers that have been doing this like Vince Scully, and just sit down and ask questions and let them talk about the history of the game.
Vin is a walking encyclopedia. Pierre takes off, throw to second, and that one not held on to by Rutledge. It's going to be very close. So stolen base for Juan is 21st of the year.
Well, head first slide, outfield. Might have got it if they were able to hang on to the baseball. Rutledge thought he still had it after he applied the tag. Now what this does just makes it so much more difficult. You go ahead and walk Fontenot now. I mean, he's got the stolen base. Go ahead and walk Fontenot. Pitch to Vance Worley in the on-deck circle. He's 1 for 22 right now on the year. Not a big hitter throughout his career.
Worley had his first base hit in the second inning. An infield hitter has redirected a ball bouncing, not exceptionally hard hit ball up the middle, and Guthrie got a glove on it and it was redirected away from Scudero. Kind of an entertaining play because Worley reached first base and then did a barrel roll.
It was entertaining to us.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it wasn't entertaining. Well, listen,
it might have been.
It was entertaining for Charlie and the entire dugout once they realized Worley was okay.
Yeah, it bounced right back up again. Got knocked down and back up. I'm all right. Controlled laughter.
Actually, truth be told, it was entertaining for the whole dugout when it happened, and then they probably said, "Ooh, I hope he's okay." 0-2, and this is sliced to right, and it's over the head of Tyler Colvin. 2 runs are going to score. Vance Worley just made it 6-2 on an 0-2 pitch. Well, hindsight's 20/20, George. You spin it, and he's going to corkscrew himself in the ground. You're going to be in the dugout.
Yeah, let's take a look at this thing. I mean, you know, very rarely would you throw a fastball, particularly center cut. I mean, if you do throw the slider, it's see you later. I understand a little bit of the call by Rosario because it was a high fastball. He just swung through it. No shot at all. Didn't swing through this one. He hit it all the way to the wall in right field.
First 2 RBIs of the year, first extra base hit,
everything.
And boy, it changes the complexion of this game. Rockies were trailing by 2 runs. They did the right thing. You get the pitcher to the plate, pass on the position player. get rid of him and you're in the dugout. Instead, it's now a 4-run game, and you got the top of the order, Jimmy Rollins, up there.
Just we were talking about what Matt Daly did so well, but maintaining those middle innings till you can get close, get it a 1-run game, 2-run ball game. Didn't happen here.
Ground ball to Kadire. He'll get to the bag. 2-run double by Vance Worley of all people. 6-2 Philadelphia. Middle of 6.
Field. Mark Stout with you up high in right field. Jordan Pacheco is going to hit second in this inning. And I know George was talking about the way he gets some hits last night. Drew and George, you know he is hitting .293 with an 0-2 count on him coming into this game. That's 5th best in the league. I asked him about his 0-2 approach, and he told me in rookie ball at Casper, Dwayne Espy said to him, don't change when you have 0-2 on you, because a lot of guys, choke up, change their stance. As he said, they go in a kind of panic mode, and he said to him, just do what you do, hit the ball where it's pitched, and it's really worked for Jordan Pacheco. That's why he's hitting, that's hard to believe, .293 guys as a rookie in an 0-2 count.
I took the advice very well, Mark, from Dwayne Espy, now managing the Tulsa Ball Club in the organization. Dwayne spent a couple of years down there with the kids so he could spend time watching his son Dean play in the spring in high school. They live there in the Phoenix area, and it all worked out for everyone.
Well, the Rockies have a 4-run deficit as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Second time tonight they've been down by a 4 spot. Colvin, Pacheco, and Rosario. Worleys are allowed 6 hits. Got a big strikeout on a 3-2 pitch last inning of Michael Kadire with the bases loaded. Rockies 9 games under 500 in Denver against the Phillies all time. Here's the 1-1 on the corner, 1-2. We showed the percentages at the top of the broadcast of what Worley throws, 4-seam, 2-seam. Well, he's thrown an inordinate amount of fastballs tonight.
All sinkers. He realizes the ballpark he's in. He's got 8 ground ball outs, 5 fly ball outs, only 1 strikeout.
On the ground to second. That was a changeup. That'll bring up Jordan Pacheco.
First 10,000 on July 17th is going to receive a coupon for a $1 hot dog courtesy of Hebrew National. Buy your tickets for that game with the Pirates. Clint Hurdle will be in town. 1-800-388-ROCK.
And Pacheco turns on one and hits one to left that Pierre will chase down. 2 outs in the Rockies' 6th, and that'll bring up Rosario. Nothing on Willeen. 5-4-3 double play and a ground ball to short for the Baby Bull. All-Star break is good for everybody. Recharge the battery. For a young player with high energy like Rosario. A lot on his plate, catching and trying to hit in the big leagues. I'm sure was an important amount of time off for him. Most home runs before an All-Star break for a rookie in Rockies history. One Helton had in '98. This ball's well hit center field. Victorino going back, still going back, and it's off the wall. And a 2-out double for Rosario. Came a few feet from hitting that
out. Fastball going to stay out over the plate for Rosario. That's where it really hurts pitchers. They think they can take that false fastball and sneak it by him on that outer half. Just great concentration. You saw that head, the lower half go down to the baseball. Such a strong young player, able to drive it 415 feet on the fly. Another opportunity for Rutledge. He's so far in the ball game walked, lined out to short.
Josh had 13 home runs for Tulsa.
Well, he has flown through the system in a hurry. Went to high A, first full season, hit .348. That club last year, Renato, led all of minor leagues, 122 RBIs. Kent Mathis with home runs and RBIs, 23 and 95. California Player of the Year.
And this ball's in the air to left center. And Victorino will get over and make the catch. So Rosario left aboard. 6 innings in the books at 20th and Blake. 6 runs for the Phillies, 2 for the Rockies. This is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Phillies up 6-2. 7th inning. Shane Victorino will lead things off against Adam Ottavino. Gave up 2 runs in the 6th inning, his first inning of work. More than 33,000 in the house last night. Phillies always draw well for a couple of reasons. One, they've been an excellent club the last several years. The other reason, Philadelphia's been around a long time. There's a lot of displaced Eastern Pennsylvania and Western Jersey folks. Southern Jersey folks.
A lot of people want to come to Colorado for a vacation. Beautiful spot in the summertime. Everybody talks about the snow skiing in the mountains, but to go up there to go riding around, it's absolutely gorgeous. Spent some time up there. Some people maybe got on an airplane, shot out here to watch a weekend series.
Well, there's some teams that always draw well here in Denver. The Cubs, the Cardinals,
Braves.
And the Phils, and Braves. 1 out. That'll bring up Chase Utley. 2 for 3 tonight. I think there's some concern with that Philadelphia organization, George, that they have, you know, terrific players still, big names, but some of those big names have got some age on them.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, you take a veteran ball club like this, pretty soon things start to slow down a little bit. It's not a knock on anybody. Very few players are as good of as they were when they get beyond 35 years old, 34. Things start to break down. A lot of games played.
Jimmy Rollins is 32. Jimmy's 33. Howard's 32. Carlos Ruiz is 33. I think earlier I said he's 31. And the 33-year-old Chase Utley grounds out.
First 20,000 on the gates July 15th are going to receive a Juan Nicasio shirt courtesy of the University of Colorado Health. Get your tickets today. The Phillies, that's tomorrow's ball game, so make sure you grab it. Get back in here tomorrow to get a Juan Nicasio. Today they gave away Rafael Betancourt shirts.
Two outs, nobody on. Ryan Howard at the plate. Howard a walk and fly ball to left field and a comebacker. One of the bigger men in the game. They just traded away a big man who's hit a lot of home runs, 600 plus, Jim Thome.
Went to Baltimore where he'd had success with the long ball in his career. 22 home runs hitting there in his career, and they needed the DH, the power. Buck Showalter wanted it on that ball club. With Howard coming back, playing time would be diminished, so a couple of Oriole fans here in the ballpark tonight. How about that? You find them everywhere. Our camera guys are unbelievable. Some of them are. Rogers spotting everything.
We're going to go catch the Rockies and Phillies, but we're Oriole fans. We're going to wear our Oriole garb. Good pitch by Ottavino. 1-2-3, 7th inning. Stretch time at Coors Field. The Phillies out in front by 4. Celebrated victory in his second All-Star. After the postgame show. Fans welcome Josh Rutledge. Go Rocky, seat number 14. That's the number Troy Tulowitzki wore initially when he got to the big leagues. All right, Rockies have 9 outs to work with offensively. 9-1-2 in their lineup. Vance Worley's still out there. Eric Young Jr. will pinch hit for Ottavino. Jr. last night had a pinch single that drove in a run. 35,151 in the house tonight. And that pitch from Worley misses on Jr. ball 1.
By the way, Andrew Brown docked in his 82nd run. He's playing down at AAA, having a tremendous year, hit .313. They're playing in Tacoma tonight to take an early 1-0 lead.
He had an impressive spring training. It's 1-1. Andrew Brown out of the Cardinal organization. He can flat swing the bat. And if you recall, George, he got off to a very slow start in Colorado Springs this year. So to see him well above 300 with a mess of RBIs.
Yeah, another player that's kind of heating things up there too, Chad Tracy, son of Jim Tracy. RBIs above 50, averages jumped to 275. He was dismal first 2 months, hit 220 or 200, I should say.
Mark Tracy swinging the bat well in Modesto also. It's the baby Tracy.
You go tell him that.
No, too big.
6'5".
You know what? I will next time. I'll get on a ladder and I'll tell him. He's a gentle giant. Brian, a scout in the Pirates organization, the oldest Tracy. Here's the 2-2 on EY, and that's lobbed to center field. And that's the advantage of Victorino playing shallow. What Worley's really pitching, George, the same game he pitched at Citizens Bank Park.
He just got a little bit of run support on this deal. That I mean, he's going to keep it to both sides of the plate. Mentioned the ground ball outs. We told to see a lot of 4-seam fastballs. Today seems cutter and sinker. Trying to get the ball on the ground to get the outs.
Ball 1 on Dexter, 2 for 3 tonight. He's now had a multi-hit game in 5 of his last 6.
I'll tell you one thing that Worley has done tonight. He's really mixed up his pitches, his first pitch. In other words, that time to Dexter was a changeup, previously slider.
last pitch was 100, and that's number 101. That's another changeup, 2-0. Mike Ekstrom was just called up yesterday. Two and two. See on the Ford strike zone, the lower third of the zone. He's having an unbelievable year. We used to see a fair amount. He was with the Reds. Edwin Encarnacion hit 2 more home runs tonight for Toronto.
Change of scenery. Obviously, he's done a little bit of pumping him up, getting him going in the right direction.
Well, this is a strange bullpen for the, as you look at Jake Diekman, a strange bullpen for Philadelphia. I've never seen anything like it. They have 3 righties and 5 lefties.
Yeah, when the last time you had 5 left-handers in a bullpen?
Most teams are hoping to have 2 quality lefties.
Well,
strike 3 on the outside corner.
Even one of the right-handers, Kendrick, started most of the time.
Just the second strikeout of the night for Worley.
Yeah, that's just paint. Flat out paint with a hard sinker. A little bit off of the plate. Dexter didn't agree with the call. I mean, he thought it was off the plate running away from him. Catch the trail zone on that thing. You can see the white touching the white. Barely.
Scudero double to the left field corner in the 5th. 1 for 3. 2 outs and nobody on. Worley's gone Little League on the Rockies tonight. Not only a very fine performance on the mound, he's got his first 2 hits of the year, and the last hit was very damaging. A 2-run, 2-out double to right on an 0-2 pitch. Jumped the Phillies' lead from 4-2 to 6-2. And another base hit. Victorino will hold Scudero to a single. And that'll allow Gonzalez to hit here in the 7th. Let's see if Charlie goes and gets a left-hander.
It appears he will, yeah. And that's not surprising. He went ahead and let Worley pitch around it, but he's pitch counted 108, 61 strikes. You've done your job, son. You've got us into the 7th, and you've given up 2 runs. What more could you ask for out of Coors Field?
Charlie Manuel takes the baseball. Vance Worley goes off after 6 2/3. He leaves with a 6-2 lead. with 2 outs, Carlos Gonzalez will come up, and he'll face Jake Diekman.
30th round selection. How nice is that? Appearing in his 20th ball game, 1-0 record. You can see 20 games, 17 2/3 innings. So basically telling you he doesn't come into a lot of ball games and one batter and gone. 26 strikeouts in those 17 innings.
He faced Carlos Gonzalez in relief of Vance Worley, actually second man to come in after Worley departed at Citizens Bank Park, and he got a ground out shortstop against Cargo.
Well, he's worked out of the bullpen the entire career. Drew, last year 53 ball games in Reading. Had 3 saves, 65 innings in those 53 games. Struck out 83. Low 3/4 guy. And again, Charlie Manuel's thinking, all right, Diekman, how many times has Gonzalez seen him? How much has the league seen him? He's a young kid.
Cargo tonight, an RBI double in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2 and an intentional walk. Carlos with that double back in the 3rd inning now has a 21 game Coors Field hitting streak. And this ball is driven to left field. Pierre is going to reach up and make the catch.
I mean, without his speed, that ball's not caught.
That ball was hammered to left.
.462 on the Rockies. Let's get you tonight's Chevy's Dare to Compare. Chevy's full line of vehicles makes it the clear winner that the competition can't compare. Chevy made for Colorado. It's Rafael Betancourt t-shirt night, so we compare his games with Cleveland and with Colorado and his numbers. You see his total saves at 42, 17 with Cleveland. He's got 25 with the Rockies. And I looked a little bit deeper into his numbers, guys. This year, 9 of his 15 saves, he has struck out the final batter of the game. There's your Chevy's Dare to Compare, as Rafael Betancourt t-shirt night was tonight. A nice honor for number 63. Let's go back upstairs as we get the 8th inning going here at Coors Field. Drew, George?
Well, Mark, as we always like to say about Rafael Betancourt, he is as professional as they come in everything he does. Mike Ekstrom is back in the big leagues, George. He had 1 appearance last year as a member of the Tampa Bay Rays. And he's been doing a nice job down in Colorado Springs. Just a .223 opponent batting average against and a .264 ERA.
He described himself contact guy. He's going to work both sides of the plate, tries to keep the ball in the lower half of the strike zone.
28-year-old
native of Portland, Oregon. Ekstrom had some time with San Diego also back in 08 and 09. 2010 he got 15 ball games with Tampa. Last year just that one inning back on July 31st. And a ground ball to Michael Kadire. He will not have an easier play all year. George, I don't know if you heard this before. They used to call that a room service hop.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that was a room service hop.
That's like the fact Ekstrom utilizing the fastball down. I mean, quick arm action gives a little more deception to the pitch. What a pinch. Just horrible swing on a hard slider from Ottavino in his last at bat.
He's one of those guys. He's a live wire, and he can look bad at the plate, but if you make a mistake in his swing path, he can put a charge in it. He's just an athlete because his first movement, George, with that left foot, he's open anyhow, is toward third base. He steps in the bucket a little bit like Juan Uribe.
Don't get in there. Stay out of that area.
He never gets to even. You know what I mean by the feet.
Yeah.
He never gets to even. So that shoulder's always open, which would make, I mean, if you're looking at, you're saying he's susceptible outside part of the plate, right?
Well, that's where you're going to throw him. I mean, and look where Rosario is. You're going to feed him here, out, because he's going to chase everything out there. If you get in the danger area, it's going to be right here in that inner half of the plate.
0-2, and Ekstrom tried to get him to chase a slider at 85. And you know, as we were discussing, Ford strike zone, all three pitches on that outer edge. And that one moved back over the middle of the plate, and that's that danger area you were chatting about.
Yeah, that's that area. Just with him up and elevated, middle of the plate, chokes up about an inch on the bat.
Popped up right field. And Tyler Colvin makes the catch. Yeah, Juan Pierre saved a run with that terrific catch off the Carlos Gonzalez drive last half inning. At the plate, 2 for 2 and a walk. Also has a stolen base, 1 for 2, trying to steal second tonight. Juan had to make the club as a non-roster invitee during spring training. Well, he's made the club, but he plays virtually every day.
Just showing what his value again. You mentioned he's being caught on a pitch out tonight. He's stolen a base. That's his value. Running catch against the wall on left field on Gonzalez. That's his value. Getting on base, hitting 300. He's hit 313. Work counts. He's been a leadoff hitter most of his career.
You know, they invited a couple of guys, George, former Rockies that are of the same, you know, mold of players to spring training. Juan Pierre and Scott Posednik, who had a really good spring.
But he went on to the Boston Red Sox, got up for a little bit, was traded there, got up for a short time with them, is back in AAA again, but being bandied around in a lot of trade rumors right now.
I was surprised a couple of years ago he didn't resurface with the Dodgers. Remember, he did a really nice job with LA.
Did a nice job here.
He did a very good job here. Line drive, another base hit. Pierre's been perfect tonight. So much of playing this game, George, is it not, knowing who you are?
It cracked me up today. I was here about 1:15 and I'm going down on the elevator and I step off on the bottom level to go down to the Rockies locker room, and who do I run into? Juan Pierre in uniform. I go, what are you doing? So you're going to go up and see some guys upstairs? You know, Paul Egan's, maybe some other guys you remember when you played here? And he goes, no, I'm going to gift shop for my son.
Was that right?
So, you know, he's buying different memorabilia around baseball for his son. But he was in his uniform. Cracked me up.
Boy, he's so excited about the birth of his baby boy, 6 months old now. Mike Fontenot swings and misses. Getting late, top of the 8th inning. 6-2 Philadelphia. Same score the Rockies defeated the Phillies by last night. Pierre takes off here, trying to read extra.
Rosario checking the dugout too. You want to throw another pitch out to see what we had a little luck with it last time. And why not?
Not going, and this is on the ground. A second. Routine play for Marco Scutaro. Nice job, Mike Ekstrom, in the 8th inning. Phillies up 6-2. The Rockies will have Kadire to lead off. Pierre has come out of the ball game. Defensive changes for the Phillies. John Mayberry's now in left field, a Stanford product, and Placido Polanco is at third base. So Mike Fontenot has come out.
Putting the A defense out there in the eyes of Charlie Manuel, and not taking anything away from the bats when you do that.
Michael Kadire will hit against Jake Diekman. Outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-1. And that's low. 2-1. Michael's hitting 7 of his last 8, a 370 average coming in. 0 for 3 tonight. Punched out with the bases loaded on a 3-2 pitch. He just swung through a fastball from Vance Worley back in the 5th inning. That's one of the things, George, that makes this game so difficult from a mental standpoint. You have that at bat, an opportunity to do some damage. Your club at that point was down just 4-2. And as we all know, it's impossible to come through every time, even half the amount of time. But so you have that rough at bat, and now you got to stew on it for 40 minutes till you come up again.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about it. Just like a starter having a bad start, have to wait 4 days before he gets out there again. Bullpen guys sometimes have 2 or 3 bad ones. They sit for a week and a half. Does the manager like me? Does my teammates like me? You know, that whole routine starts in on you. But for a hitter, it's a little easier to rebound out of it because of the at-bats consecutive when you're a player like Kadire. But that 40 minutes of thinking back on it, they could get on to you pretty quick. Start to eat at you. But I made a difference in that game today to win it.
Three and 2.
There's been some balls hit awfully hard.
And this is on the ground deep short. Rollins with the strong arm. He's got a tall first baseman. Looking at the ball. The ball must have cut. Jimmy had a big smile and he's kind of showing the baseball when he got it back from Howard. He may have thrown him a cutter, George.
You think so?
Yeah.
Had a little cut to it? No cuts on the ball. What are you doing? I did a little sailor pitch. Kidrick and Horst, the right-left combination going at it now.
So Colvin takes one in the backside and he'll go to first with 1 out. That'll bring up Pacheco. Sanchez and Horst throwing. Though, to be honest, George, Horst is just hanging out right now.
Kind of looks like he's standing on the mound making sure Sanchez is doing what he's supposed to.
So he's the player pitching coach?
Yeah.
I know you did something.
He lost the card game and had to go outside.
Yes, you're right. He's his personal protector, huh? Just in case there's a home run hitting in that direction.
He'll catch it. That's right.
It's fouled off. Now you guys had to do that every day at Wrigley, didn't you?
Oh yeah, Wrigley and in St. Louis they had to. They were inside. I mean, there's a number of ballparks back then. The bullpens were inside. Cincinnati had them inside. There's a lot of them inside because they were dual ballparks: football, baseball.
You know what George means by inside? Actually, inside the playing surface.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to make any particularly good plays?
Yeah, I got out of the way. I remember Dave Ricketts' first time. He goes, "Hey, I put you back there to protect me." I said, "I ain't worried about you."
No, not feeling that one.
No, sorry, buddy. I want to give the fan a little vacation back there. I don't have a ball.
That's a little too hot. Now, Philadelphia, notorious, George, for being one of the best places to converse, if you will, and I put that in quotations, with the fans.
Well, you know what? In the old days, you were down below them, and there was a railing about 20 feet above you Now it's a double tier bullpen and the railing's still above it. That could be a rough place.
3-1. Bullpen's been inconsistent for Philadelphia this year, other than their 9th inning man, Papelbon. And that's ball 4. So now the Rockies with 2 men on and 1 out. And here comes Willeen Rosario.
Well, Charlie thinking, all right, if I go get the right-hander Sanchez, he's going to go get Giambi and pinch hit maybe for Rosario. Maybe he won't, you know, but Charlie's going to find out. Sanchez has been warming up down there. Won't be any double switching going on.
This is also where the game's changed a little bit. And granted, it's July 14th. But 20 years ago, you go get your closer and say, hey, go get 5 outs.
Absolutely would.
So Diekman goes off. 2 on for the Rockies, trailing 6-2 in the 8th with 1 out. How we've arrived at the 6-2 count. 4 runs in the first inning for Philadelphia against Jeremy Guthrie. Carlos Ruiz, a 3-run home run in that initial frame. Rockies got a couple in the 3rd inning. Dexter Fowler would single at Josh Rutledge, who had walked. And then a couple of hitters later, Carlos Gonzalez off the top of the right center field wall. That would drive in Dexter, that double. That's all the Rockies have offensively, and this was the most crushing blow perhaps in a 4-2 game, an 0-2 pitch with 2 aboard to Vance Worley, who earlier had an infield hit for his first hit of the year. He doubled off of Adam Ottavino to drive in 2 more. So it's 6-2, 8th inning, 1 out, and Brian Sanchez, a veteran, will come on to face Willeen Rosario. George has been in 5 games this year. The opposition has scored against him in 4 of them.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot of fun for him. I can guarantee that. He's pitched in 189 big league games, 13-6 overall. His career started way back with the Phillies. Then he's moved on to Washington, Florida, and then back with Philadelphia in November as a minor league free agent.
Rosario way out front. 1 ball, 1 strike on the off-speed pitch. Just gives you an idea how much the Phillies are in search mode to get to Jonathan Papelbon. You have a guy throwing here in the 8th inning that's been hit pretty hard. This ball, towering drive, deep left center field. Take took a good look. You won't see it for long. And the Rockies are within a run. Number 15 for the Baby Bull.
I don't think Philadelphia got the memo that he's a good fastball hitter.
Evidently not.
Because tonight, the balls he has hit extremely hard have been fastballs. They've been to the inner half of the plate and elevated. Bad pitches get hit a long ways. Lewin really made them pay for this by hitting this ball 15 rows up into left field for a 3-run home run. All of a sudden, Charlie's thinking 6-5 lead. What do I do now? And I got a young kid, Rutledge, coming to the plate that knows what he's doing.
Rookie home runs in the National League. Willian Rosario way out in front of number 2. Todd Frazier, in fact, a couple of Reds there. Zach Cozart. But George, when he hits them, man, they stay struck for a while.
You know what? When he hits them, you don't have to watch where they're going to land. You can tell by the sound off the bat. It's being crushed. Now Charlie's going to do some flipping around here.
It's now 5 out of 6 games that Sanchez has appeared in and been scored upon. 2 of the runs charged to Jake Diekman. His line, 2/3 of an inning. 2 runs, did not give up a hit. He walked a batter and hit a batter. So the Rockies rallying against this Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. That's fun to watch. 3-run home run, Willian Rosario. Still just 1 out in the 8th. 6-5 ball game now. Game, and here's the double switch. Jason Pridey is now in right field. Hunter Pence comes out of the ball game, and the irony, George, is they will ask Jonathan Papelbon now to get 5 outs.
Well, that's interesting because I had Doug jump on this and say, hey, 18 of 20 save opportunities for Papelbon, but I said in Agassi's career, 310 saves, 125 of those were at least 2 innings or more. 24 were at least 3 innings and more, and the earned run average 0.68 at that span.
Yeah, he's done it before. In fact, he's done it quite a bit. Papelbon, an all-star. In fact, he got the final out. You look at the scorecard, you say, well, why would he take Pence out? Talking about Charlie. He was forced to, in that he had just made the moves to bring in Polanco and Mayberry defensively. So Fontenot and Pierre were out of the ball game. The next in line was Pence from a batting order standpoint. He doesn't want to give up defense. He wants to protect still that 1-run lead.
If you trust the right side of your bullpen, you went to that early on, and then you make those switches, and where that pitcher might get you through this inning to get to Papelbon, and instead it's taken 3 to try to get 3 outs in the 8th.
Rutledge pops this one up foul ground. Needs some wind to blow, and it will help him out. Lands a few rows back. Papelbon, his 5th All-Star game the other day. Got that final out in Kansas City as the National League skunked the American League 8-0. He's been knocked around a little bit lately. Last 6 games, the opposition hitting .385 against him. 0-1, fouled off. How about the first 24 hours for this kid? Yesterday, the 2-for-2, sac fly and a walk. Stolen base, knocked in a couple. Today, a walk and a run scored in the 3rd, a line out and a fly ball. Mom and dad looking on, his high school coach in front. A couple of his buddies in town as well, and now he's facing Jonathan Papelbon. 0-2. And this ball sharply hit, but Polanco is right on the line. Low throw, and the big man at first scooped it up. If they're not playing no doubles, George.
He had a double.
He had a double.
Late in the game, 1-run ball game. I mean, again, Polanco came into the ball game for defense, and it hugged that 3rd base line. Look how tight he is. He went over and really made sure he stayed in front of that baseball, then to pick by the big man.
And now the Rockies will send up their big man to pinch hit. Here's Giambi. 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Giambi 3 for 9 in his career versus Papelbon. One of those hits have left the yard.
Well, we remember that well when he was with Boston last year. Two and 0. You know what? Let me correct that. Time flies. That was 2010 that Giambi hit the walk-off against Papelbon. Seemed like yesterday. 6-5 ball game. 2-0 pitch to work with for Giambi. Didn't like it. 2-1.
Still a good fastball. 95 miles an hour down in the zone. Sliders 88. Fearless. All the above to make a good closer.
Giambi fouls that one off.
Well, last year the Phillies did not reach a deal with Matson, who had led them in saves. Smart move signing Papelbon because Matson had season-ending surgery.
Spring training. Two and 2. And Papelbon comes on, he gets Rutledge on a hard ground ball down the third base line, and he strikes out Giambi. But the Rockies are within a run due to this one swing by Willeen Rosario. A 3-run shot from the baby bull. Find our fares online only at southwest.com and by Braconier Mechanical and Plumbing Services. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Braconier at 303-777-3037. Think green, think Braconier. It's gotten very interesting at Coors Field. The Rockies were down 4-0 and 6-2. Willeen Rosario has made it 6-5. Ninth inning coming up after the ball game, the Toyota postgame show, and out in center field right now is Joel Klatt. Joel.
All right, thanks, Drew. Got a couple of, well, possibly rhetorical questions for you and George. One, who's your daddy? Willeen Rosario became a daddy on Thursday. That's right, a brand new baby boy, Will Rosario, and he just hit a massive bomb. We'll talk about that in the postgame show. Plus, so you think you can Vance? I know you can Vance, Drew. I know you can. Vance Worley, by the way, terrific on the mound, plus that double down the line, and Jim Tracy in the clubhouse. That's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show.
Since they were rhetorical, I won't give you a response. Thank you. We'll talk to Joel in a little bit. Matt Belisle's aboard, and the slider, strike one on Jason Pridey.
And they also got the left-hander, Rex Brothers, going down in the bullpen if Belisle runs into any trouble. The Phillies this year 9-17 in one-run ball games. The Rockies 10-10. Belisle's numbers: 45th game to appear in for Matt Belisle, 3-2. All the numbers good as they have been the last 2 or 3 years for Matt Belisle. Ahead in the count, 1 ball and a strike, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's just as steady as they come.
Now, when he went down to the minor leagues, he came up in a couple of appearances back to the minor leagues in 2009. He made the comment that if I ever get back to the big leagues, I'm going to work my tail off to never see the minor league bus again, and he's done just that. And I remember the story told to me by Dave Holliday, who worked for Dan O'Dowd as a special assistant. Dan was looking at Peralta. Remember him, the right-hander?
Joel Peralta.
In Oklahoma City. And Dan called him and said, you know, who would you take? Which one of these guys? We need bullpen help. And he said, Belisle. And he goes, nah, I've already seen him twice this year. He goes, Dan, it's 95-96. It strikes. He's closing down here. Chuck Neffen put him into the closer's role. He's attacking the strike zone. He's doing it with 3 pitches. He said, this is the guy. I'm telling you, it's Matt Belisle. Matt Belisle came up. Well, folks, the rest of the story is history, as they like to say.
1 ball, 1 strike on Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy a double and a triple last night. Tonight he's 1 for 4, single in the 5th. And that's a fair ball.
Ball got hit down the right field line. The last fan reached over and caught his arm and deflected it.
So a 1-out double for Rollins.
Watch this ball go right by Kadire. Just fair. I mean, right on top of the line. But when it hits the first time, that guy doesn't get it, but the one in the white shirt did. That killed the baseball and an automatic advance to second. Belisle worked an inning last night. give up a hit, struck out a couple.
Great work by Christian Friedrich, talking to some of the Phillies today. Charlie Manuel, for one, was very impressed with Friedrich. And he had struggled at Coors Field, not yesterday. 6 innings, 82 pitches, 1 run. Punched out 7. And did it against Cliff Lee, who helped mentor him in the offseason. Victorino's hit the ball hard tonight. Double, a couple line outs, ground ball to second also. Rex Brothers looking like he's ready. That's if it
as you get a little bit,
Utley and Howard.
As you get a little bit older, you learn how to warm up in the bullpen, which is very important. You get loose, you're ready to go. Then as soon as you see the manager pop out, you got 4 or 5 more till you got to come through the gate, and you got 8 on the mound. This loose, stand and watch. It'll only benefit you down the road.
This is line to right, and this is going to score an insurance run. Rollins will come around. Victorino's hunting a triple. He'll have one easily. Well, the 2 table setters, a double by Rollins, a triple by Victorino, and it's now 7-5 Philadelphia.
Yeah, Victorino, 3 triples on the year now, 38 RBIs for Victorino. Breaking ball, stayed up in the zone a little bit too much. He wanted to get that ball down in the dirt. You can see Victorino drop that lower half, get in a position and just drive the ball. But Jim Tracy's going to go to the bullpen with 2 lefties coming, with Brothers warming up to try to prevent any more damage. Belial a couple of hits and a run in this game.
(7-5) Philadelphia. We'll return to Coors Field right after this. Down a run here in the 9th inning, a double with 1 out by Jimmy Rollins, followed by a Shane Victorino triple. Now with a couple of dangerous lefties coming up in Utley and Howard, the Rockies turn to Rex Brothers.
Yeah, important to shut the door right here. 9 holes on the season for Rex, 4-2 overall record, 44 strikeouts in those 30 innings. He'll need a couple here. With the runner at third, the infield will be pulled in. Left-handers on the year, 226 against Brothers. Retired first batter faced 63% of the time. Inherited runners, he's inherited 18. Only 4 have scored.
Got that in on the knuckles of Utley.
And not where he wanted either. Slider at 89. He wanted to get that ball away from him and down. It worked to his advantage.
Rockies pull the infield in. Deny Victorino from scoring. 2 for 4 night for Utley, including an RBI hit in the first. Threw that flat past him at 97.
Phillies 4 for 6 tonight with runners in scoring position. The Rockies are 3 for 8.
You see that look? Utley looking at the barrel, said, "How'd you not strike the baseball?" He's checking for a hole in it. And that'll get another run in. Well, this top of the 9th inning, not going as Jim Tracy would have liked, calling on his 2 top setup men, Matt Belisle and Rex Brothers. Breathing room for the Phillies. They're up 8-5.
Yeah, with the infield pulled in too, made it a little easier for him to squeak that ball through. On 0-2 count though, second time tonight it's happened in the ball game. On an 0-2 base hit, of course, the biggest, Vance Worley, that double right off of Ottavino was not positioned in a good place.
Ryan Howard. Utley gets a huge jump. He's going to have to come back. 0-2. To the count on Howard. Now, one streak's going to end for Ryan Howard this year. 6 straight years of at least 30 home runs. Second time he's been a strikeout victim in the game. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Carlos Ruiz.
Very well positioned pitch, down and away, out away from his strength, and he chased it. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo gives you a great illustration of how good the brothers got on top of that pitch and drove it to the outside half.
Strike 1 on Ruiz, hitting .377 against Southpaws. What a year this kid has had. He's not a kid anymore. He's 33.
Well, he's a kid to us.
Yeah. Runner going again, and Utley is out at second base. Good throw by Rosario. Well, the Rockies have their work cut out. Philadelphia scores twice in the 9th inning. They'll carry an 8-5 lead to the bottom of the 9th.
left, top of the order, trying to rally against Jonathan Papelbon. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Dexter Fowler's had a productive ball game, 2 for 4. He'll be first against Jonathan Papelbon. The Rockies trailed 4-0 out of the chute, if you will. As Jeremy Guthrie gave up 4 in the first. Carlos Ruiz a 3-run home run in that first inning. Rockies got it to 4-2, and then Vance Worley a double with 2 strikes on him to make it 6-2. That came against Adam Ottavino. And then the Rockies last inning got it 6-5 on the 3-run home run by Willeen Rosario. But 2 more runs for Philadelphia in the top of the ninth. So here we go. Rockies again need base runners. Fowler, Scutaro, Cargo, hopefully others. Papelbon's the 4th pitcher used tonight.
Well, that big shoulder turn at the start of his delivery, and then sets the hands on the backside of the hip. Just lets it fall out. But very difficult to pick the pitch up coming out of there. Part of his success, concentration, intimidation, pounding the zone. He doesn't have the normal look of a closer. So he sets that glove to the backside, and it's a little hip raise, and off he goes.
Dexter flies to left field. 1 out. Who wants tacos, fans? If you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies taco special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell.
Looking forward to tomorrow's game, Pomeranz and Hamels. That's going to be a good one.
Drew Pomeranz coming off of 2 terrific performances. There's Cole Hamels. His resume speaks for itself. 10-4 record with a 3.20 ERA. Scutaro takes a strike. Pirates will follow Philadelphia into town. Pirates beat the Brewers tonight 6-4.
Cincinnati won those, so they kind of staying the same there in that Central. Glenn Hurdle's got his ball club playing well as Dusty's team will come in at the end of the month. Cardinals will be in here.
A lot of interesting division races in the second half, and now you throw in that extra wild card in both leagues. Going to be fun. 1-1 on Marco outside, 2-1. Up Jimmy Rollins territory. 2 outs. So that'll bring up Cargo. 1 for 3 tonight, an intentional walk, an RBI double in the 3rd. He had a rocket to left with Scutaro aboard in the 7th inning that Juan Pierre made a nice leaping catch on. Cargo got a pitch out over the plate. Fouled it straight back, 0-1.
changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
His change, typically it's a split finger. That's what he likes to throw to that outer half. Work on ground ball outs, utilize it specifically against left-handers more than right-handers. He'll use the slider as his off-speed to right-handers.
It was there, 1 and 2. Here's the 1-2. Papelbon will get the final 5 outs. Nailed down a save for Philadelphia. And they win on Saturday night. Denver 8-5. Vance Worley improves to 5-5. Jeremy Guthrie takes the loss. He's 3-9. That's save number 19 for Jonathan Papelbon. The Rockies could never recover from that early deficit, though they kept trying. 8-5 the final. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Now, Vance Worley was very good on the hill against the Rockies for the 2nd time this year. And the biggest out he got was that strikeout with the bases loaded on a 3-2 pitch of Michael Kadire. And then with the bat, this is not something he does well. He had an infield hit for his first hit of the year earlier. And then on an 0-2 pitch, he lines a double over Tyler Colvin's head. That advanced the Phillies' cause from 4-2 to 6-2. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. The final score: the Rockies lose it to Philadelphia 8-5. Stick around. The Toyota postgame show is up next.